is a Cosmic Octave original podcast.
Me and Jake running down the street with a handful of comic books, kicking ass and banging chicks and drinking booze
No, not
and
me.
smoking
Not
weed.
me. I'm married.
Yeah, well,
I'm married.
Jake.
Can't do that.
Yeah. Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.
Nice.
I like the deep breath before I say it. Nice. Also for Tyler.
Yes.
That's gonna be because we're gonna be talking about a handful of trailers. No. So I'm thinking if we liked it,
Yes.
if we didn't like it,
You are nothing but garbage. Yeah.
That's what it was,
Nothing
yeah.
but garbage, guy. You know?
yeah.
I think we should use
Or-
Art
or-
Thou Bored
I was gonna say if you were uninterested.
Art thou bored?
because it's quicker.
Oh God, I'm just hitting all the buttons now.
Guess who found his soundboard? Welcome to Off
Crack cocaine.
This is what I smoked before I came here.
You know what I said?
I'll drink your blood.
So anyway, let's get to the
Off
topic.
panel, off topic. I'm Tyler. He's Jake.
No, we're not introducing ourselves. I'm sick of pandering to people. Look, if you ain't here since day one, I don't want you. No,
We're gatekeeping.
Yep, we're gatekeeping our own show. You got to do at least 88 episodes
Listen,
before
if
you
you
can
wanna-
enjoy this
If
one.
you want to be popular on YouTube, you got to gatekeep your own
exactly.
IP.
Anyway, we're going to be talking about The Mandalorian. We're going to talk about Blue Beetle.
20 years ago, if you said gatekeep your own IP to somebody, they'd be like, stop being ridiculous and stringing random words together. So we got The Mandalorian.
Yeah,
I cut you
thanks for
off.
cutting me off. I appreciate it. The Mandalorian, Blue Beetle, Across the Spider-Verse, Secret Invasion. I want to do a little bit of a discussion about I'm getting real pissed off with all these sequels and reboots and prequels. And actually, while we talk about Blue Beetle and Across the Spider-Verse, we have some grifter takes that are just mwah, chef's kiss on these
Really?
trailers. Yeah.
I saw how Melanie Mack said that.
Oh shit! Sorry, I bumped
What was
my
it?
mic.
What was it? Child. What was it?
It's
Child genital
mutilation.
mutilation.
Yes.
What the fuck?
Yeah, Bounding into Comics. What a website. What a shitty website. So yeah, we'll get into that. But yeah, this is the first time we've ever watched The Mandalorian together. So we just watched.
Oh. I think we've watched one episode.
Quick
before.
thing to point out too. I don't know what happened with last week's episode, but the full or like half of the episode didn't properly
Oh, I think you're talking about the
save or get put in there. So a quick rundown. Episode 4, I gave it an A. I gave episode 5 an A+. I don't remember what you gave.
It doesn't matter.
But it doesn't matter.
It's in the
We've been
past.
watching the show.
We've been watching the show, unlike some
Stop it. Stop it.
Okay.
Jesus
Sorry.
Christ, man. I'm trying. I can't get through a sentence.
I can't get through.
See what I'm. Not everything's a song. Not everything's a tune.
Fucking bullshit.
So anyway, we watched episode 6 of season 3 or chapter 22. I don't know what the name of it was, but
yeah.
So I've seen a lot of criticism for this episode.
Oh no, no doubt, no
well,
way. I
That's
don't believe you.
That's the beauty of Star Wars. No matter what it is, somebody
will
has an
piss-
opinion on it.
It wouldn't at all be tied up into bigotry and misogyny at all, would it?
Not even that.
No.
I think there are some legitimate criticisms towards this episode
well,
in
yeah,
the
I'm
sense
sure.
of it was you view the episode based on the trajectory of the season. You would think that something would happen, but this does feel like a sidetrack, side quest episode that seems to pad the season.
Yeah,
You could view it that is on face value. But there are some things that happen in the episode that do move the story along.
I would wager to say
Especially
that the
the end.
entire fucking show is filled with side quests. We talked about this off the air. Like by the third episode, he's trying to get Grogu back to the Jedi, but he's also taken this.
Well,
I mean, by necessity, right? Because he had to fix his ship or some shit. What the hell was it? I don't know. But he had to take some lady with her eggs somewhere, and Grogu ate half of them.
something about
Dick.
that. Yeah.
But that was a side quest. I'm just saying, like,
No.
I think most of the series has been.
Well, yeah.
That's how you. We've talked about this before too. If you don't need these side quests and whatnot, like why? How many episodes is it supposed to be? 10?
No, I think there's only 8. I want to say there's only 2 episodes left, but I could be wrong.
Maybe you only need 6. I mean, I don't know. Are they just trying to pad it out? I don't know. I didn't mind the episode at all.
No, I don't. Well,
it's in keeping with the
theme of the season,
yeah,
which is
of the show.
uniting
in
the
general.
Mandalorians.
In general, you start off and you go, hey, here's what's been happening, and here's a couple things to bring us back up to speed. Ooh, and a little tease. And then let's go off on a side quest and do something else, and then we're going to get back to that at the end of it, and then the show's over.
You know how this was a side
That's
quest? You know how this was perfectly a video game side quest?
Mm.
So we show up, there's a dialogue cut scene. I need you. No, dude, this is the most video gamey plot of all the episodes because it's literally him saying, like, hey, man, you can go talk to them, but you got to clear out these droids first. I got a droid problem. So that's the video game saying, like, hey, you got to go down to this section of the map and go do all this other stuff.
Okay.
And then when they do get it, and he's like, oh, and I'll make sure to offer you my quest rewards. If you do complete this task, we'll let you be a sovereign planet, which is a big deal that they're going to actually acknowledge Mandalore.
Right?
So it's not necessary. It's not, it adds to the main narrative, right? But then again, it has the scene. It just plays out like a video game.
Did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it, but it does play.
I just want to know what we're doing here.
I'm explaining.
Not
I'm just
you.
trying to talk about the episode.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that like it is the most video gamey plot.
Yeah.
Because it really is. Okay, well, if you want this thing, you got to do this side mission for me, and then when you do that, then okay, we've granted you. You figured out the quest. You figured out the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Now we grant you permission to go to that area on the map that was blocked off until you completed this mission. But I like it. I still like it. You know why? Because I am so, and especially with doing this, and we've talked about this before. We even talked about it last week when we talked about those episodes. I'm just in a place where I don't. There are things that could be looked at for criticism for anything in art, any piece of art.
Yeah.
But there is a conscious decision of things that you are going to let go and things that you're going to be like, I don't know about that.
There are character enriching scenes in this fucking episode. There are 2 distinct scenes where Din takes over from Bo with the Ugnaughts and gets what they need. And then there's another scene where it goes backwards. Din's being the jerk, and Bo goes, hey.
And I think you're trying to set up that both of them are going to be the leaders.
I'm just saying that
I think that's where they're going with this.
This episode is not a waste, okay?
No.
Like the side quest, not you, but there are criticisms about. And my thing is, what are we doing here? Did you enjoy the show? I did. You did. There are scenes between the two of basically the main characters that enrich their relationship, make them more solidly believable characters as real people. It fleshes them out even more. It shows that Din is not. He's kind of a jerk still. He's still got a long way to go.
Well, he just has his prejudices against droids.
Of course. Right.
But that's why. But I think what this is also trying to do. I think that the goal of this episode is also imply that maybe they're not. They're not romantically involved, but they are good.
Yeah.
They are good partners.
There's definitely a lot of respect between them.
And and it's also showing that to run Mandalore, it's probably going to take both of them because. You're right. We saw differences. We saw how he talked to Ugnaughts, and then you saw how, again, he doesn't like droids.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, the episode almost lost me for a second because he said droid bar, and I'm like, why the fuck is there a droid bar? They don't drink.
It actually works out really well.
Yeah, I think the whole fluid thing
isn't what you do. Okay,
well, like oil.
I
like that the idea is that
as
oil
an alcoholic.
up.
As an alcoholic, hang on. Now they are doing that, but they're also reprogramming themselves. Remember what they said there?
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you know this, but long-term alcohol abuse physically changes your brain. Physically,
any drug, yeah.
Right, and so they're basically getting fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that also
they call it reprogramming, but they're basically getting fucked up.
I turned around on that scene when we had the droid explain that, like, hey, we are, because you're so used to seeing that plot of droids being like fuck humans, but it was actually really cool to see this nice little sweet
That was
scene
awesome how he started kicking them.
Well, not even that. I'm talking about in the bar.
Yeah.
And when they're just talking about the fact that, like, hey, I want to help. we don't want to be replaced. We like being with the humans, and this isn't helping our cause. And it's like, that was like a nice moment where I was like, okay, I can forgive that it's a. And then they explain why they're there, of the reprogramming with the fluids, and I was like, okay, I can get behind this. But like at first, I'm like, Droid Bar, what the hell are we doing? And I told you before we watched the episode, because I'd seen it on Twitter. I was like, there's a couple cameos that you would not expect. So we had Jack Black and Lizzo. I think they did a fine job. To be honest, I think their characters were like, just, I wasn't invested in their characters. I was like, okay.
They're kind of throwaway characters.
I looked at them as in the video game. They're quest givers. They're just there to have some dialogue and then send you on your way.
They're stars who probably are friends with the creators and you know, hey, I'd love to be in Star Wars sometime. Cool, I got a part for you in the Mandalorian.
He said, John, I got a question. I got a favor for you. And he's like, well, you know what I got to do.
I'll drink your blood.
It's like, John Favreau is a vampire?
Wow.
You know who else is?
Cheeky Watiti.
No shit. You heard it here first.
So
no,
I like that scene.
Lizzo. The problem is,
by the way, the bar scene.
so did I. The problem is, and this is really stupid, actually. But because she is unabashedly herself and does not, rightly so, does not put up with that bullshit, you know, body criticism. Lizzo is a very polarizing figure, and a lot of these grifters
they don't like strong
they
black
don't
women.
no no at all, and they definitely do not like ones who are I mean, honestly, in their minds, well, she's probably rich enough to have a trainer, you know, or whatever.
Yeah, work out.
And I don't know if you saw, there's a Netflix special called My Nexus Needs No Further Introduction with David Letterman. And he did a bunch of different guys. He did a bunch of different various things. And one of them was Lizzo. And I was like, that's interesting, because a lot of the guys, he had like, you know, Dave Chappelle, and he had way more established long-term, whatever. And she was still relatively new, like 7, 8, you know. But I didn't realize that she had been around for like a decade. And they talked about how many awards she won and how amazing, like, you know, all these different things that she's done. Man, yeah, that fucking pisses people off. But I think that's why
people will be mad about this episode.
the
just 'cause
Lizzo,
she's in it.
absolutely, and I'm sure. I mean, I don't know. Jack Black isn't super vocal about it, but dude, Jack Black's a fucking liberal, dude. Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, he is. He's very progressive.
Yeah,
He's
dude.
very open about it. But
anyway, yeah. So I'm sure that
to me it was just weird to see Lizzo and Jack Black.
You know,
in Star
can
Wars.
I just it is, but can I just say one thing? I like to think that they called Jack Black and they're like, hey, we got, you know, a spot for you or whatnot, and you know, we're gonna bring you in. Like, do you have any thoughts of like who you would want to be like your like Duchess or whatever? And he's like, I have always wanted to work with Lizzo, like always.
Probably.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love that. I'm sure. I'm not by any means saying that she got it because you know what I mean. But I'm hoping that Jack Black was like, man, I've been watching her for a long ways away, and I'd love to work with her sometime. Well, that's great because that's who we cast.
So,
lucky day, Jack Black.
I want another thing that you were talking about when he's kicking the battle droids. So that's another example of one. I think it's an example of his prejudice towards the droids that he's just kicking.
I just thought it was funny.
Well, he's kicking them because it's like, but he's also like, well, third program not to deal with it. It doesn't matter.
Well,
and
came on. It was a very comedic moment.
He enjoyed it.
You're getting the
He
cart
likes
before the horse.
kicking 'em.
First, he starts waving in front of him.
Yeah.
And that's kind of comical in a way because he's like, come on,
Like they have
motherfucker.
eyes.
Come
like,
on.
well, yeah, they have sensors,
Come
but
on.
they're not like.
he looks ridiculous. Like,
It's like he's doing it to a person.
It's funny. And then he's like, well, fuck this. He starts kicking him mainly because the battle droid was like, you shouldn't do that. He's like, oh, yeah, sure, I should just be able to kick him, shouldn't I? And it's like, oh, yeah.
But that's what I mean is like he doesn't really care either way. He'll kick the droid, and I'm telling you, he enjoyed it. He enjoyed kicking them droids. But yeah, so that's how they find about the rogue. And yeah, and then it kind of went Blade
Obviously,
Runner
it's
a little
shitty
bit
because, you know, they're
they found the
censored.
rogue.
Yeah. And it's Christopher Lloyd.
Which, by the way, I knew what those battle droids were because you can play as them in the Battlefront games.
Huh.
If you're playing on the the droid side, the Imperial side, the
You knew-
Separatist
you
side.
knew who they
the
were?
Separatists,
Which ones?
the big battle droids.
Yeah, the super battle droids.
You can play as them in the game. It's pretty cool. But they find that out, and then that's where they, of course, go to the bar because they find he had like a little spark.
I
what the
want
fuck is a spark pad?
A blue, I don't know, probably identification for
Well,
droids?
he was selling them. So I mean, like,
probably, I don't know. Matchbook. We give these away to everybody,
yeah.
right? Okay. And I just want to say this. Give me a fucking character who's got a protocol droid that's a blue C-3PO motherfucker. I need that shit tomorrow.
You know what he'll do if you give it to him?
I'll eat your ass.
How much is it going to cost me, though?
$1 million, bitch.
Shit.
That's an expensive droid, man. I'm just saying.
What if I trade him for...
All I got.
Godspeed, Spider-Man.
That's all I got to say. Anyway, so if we were to give this episode a grade, I would give it a
I'll give it
I
an
would give
A.
it a B. I'll give it a B. Well, you know
There's
what?
no-
Scratch that. I think A would be good because, especially at the end of the episode when she has the fight.
Right, we totally glossed over all that.
Yeah, well, she essentially what happens is she goes back
He
to.
politics and legalese is like he basically gives them a legal
Well,
argument for why she should have the Darksaber without kicking his ass.
To me, the more important thing is we get to see her old outfit again, so we get to close that narrative, loop because that was still hanging out there. But yeah, we get to see that. We got to see her fighting Axe, whatever his last name, Axe Mose or whatever. Some Star Wars name, but she fights him, and then he keeps mentioning during the fight like he's the leader because he's got the fucking Darksaber and you won't take it from him. So they have that whole conversation, and then Din is like, I'm just gonna give it to her, and he's
Din
like,
is fucking pre-law, dude.
and she's like, no, it's not a gift. And he's like, it's not a gift. Hey, I got attacked in Mandalore, and some dude got me and trapped me. Took away my Darksaber. She took the Darksaber, killed the guy that captured me, so she killed the guy that captured, so therefore it is technically her blade.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
She defeated the enemy with my blade, so it is now her blade. And they're like, yeah, it makes sense to me. It's like ravel.
He's sitting there inside his helmet like, come on.
Which I hope they touch
I
on
really
this.
don't want to fight her.
I hope they touch on this with the because in my vision, now this is my vision. I hope they connect this and play up more of the Mandalorians that take their helmet off versus the children of the Watch, and because I like the idea that Bo-Katan is going to be the unifier of them. But I just don't see them lasting long together because if you could tell, her outfit still calls him names and still says he's a member of a cult. Like they still don't like him.
No.
No, and her having the Darksaber, I think, is a step towards potentially uniting them. But I just think that
What needs to happen is the people.
I just don't know how long that
the
alliance
children
is
of
gonna
the
last.
Watch need to chill the fuck out. Is what needs to happen.
To let people take their helmets off.
If they want to be like they are, and if people want to join them and walk the way as they say, then let them. They should be able to if they want, right? If that's like if it's kind of like if you're growing up in a Jewish family and you're like, Catholicism kind of seems more like my thing or whatever, kind of like that,
Yeah, switching
right?
religions.
And they're like, okay, that's fair.
Converting.
You gotta be sure of it, obviously. And obviously it's really we live in a world with religions. And yes, the Branch Davidians are what the Bo-Katan's tribe thinks of the Children of the Watch.
Yeah,
But they're
these
like the Branch
conspiracy
that
cult
they're
kid-
fucking nut jobs
Yeah.
who hold up in Waco, Texas with a bunch of firearms.
So
And you can't take your helmet off.
again,
So I get it, but I like to think that she's just going to say, hey, look, if you're a child of the Watch, you walk the way. And if you are not, you're allowed to do whatever you want, but you can't fucking shit on each other for being who they are.
yeah. But I think
Look at how well that works in our society.
I think the only resolution is going to be that Din represents the Children of the Watch and Bo-Katan represents
Fair.
like and because I feel like what we're leading to with the character moments in this, I think we're learning that these two work well together and they balance each other out, and we're going to see Bo-Katan and Din.
They're going to hook up. Just kidding.
I don't think so.
I don't need that.
No, I don't need it either. But I think they're going to be the leaders.
It's a
They're gonna-
boring
they're
trope.
gonna-
It's like a man and a woman lead character.
If you
want to
wanna-
eventually
I mean, if you want to call it king and queen, I guess, but they're not together.
co-regents. That's what they used to call it in ancient Egypt and other places.
All right, so
I
both
like history.
we both
yeah.
give it an A. So congratulations.
Hey,
Pew pew quip. Pew pew quip.
That's what I want next episode. Just
that's a nice.
Pew pew quip. Pew pew quip.
all day.
That's a
long.
nice audio trophy.
Nice.
So what else were you talking about?
Sex. With salt and pepper, baby. Let's get into just how deadpan I said that. Sex. Let's talk about Blue Beetle. Actually, let's get into the trailers because
Okay.
it's Trailer Mania Part 2, I think.
Yep.
We have 3 trailers to talk
Oh
about.
my god.
So let's talk about Blue Beetle.
Your face like.
Remember the rating scale. If we like it,
Yes.
we don't like it.
Now bored.
Yeah. I'm going to go out and say that I thought this was a fun trailer. And I thought it was did a good enough job to kind of convey the because I don't mind this. I think that we don't really get to see. We saw a picture of or we saw a bit of Susan Sarandon, but we don't really know who she is unless I'm not super versed in
I
Blue
do not
Beetle. I don't know
know.
fuck all about
Unless
Jaime.
she's a Cord,
I don't know anything
a
about
member of the Cord family.
Blue Beetle. I especially don't know.
That wouldn't surprise me.
I especially don't know anything about the Jaime Reyes. Blue Beetle.
What if she's like Ted Cord's
wife?
sister?
I think there might be something to him because with Ted Cord, because in the trailer, George Lopez and the rest of the family are like flying out in what looks like a retro Beetle looking thing.
But there's a Cord. Isn't he going to Cord Industries when he gets the
I don't know.
scarab?
I don't remember.
Isn't that the name on the building?
I think so. Maybe.
We didn't
I didn't
look.
see it,
I didn't look either.
but I don't know. Overall,
here's my thing.
keep in mind,
Okay.
usually with these first trailers, it's mostly a tone setter of like this is the tone we're going for with this movie. Is the way I view them anyway.
Okay, I got a couple issues. I got a couple issues.
Okay, get it to me. Send it my way.
I never want to see a narrative choice where the painful transformation into the alter ego is in front of somebody's family. What's that?
What's wrong with that?
Why?
Why don't you?
Why
want,
are you? Why are you terrifying his family? Why are you doing that to him?
So you wanted to do it by himself in
Sure.
his bedroom, like every other fucking superhero movie? At least they're doing something different.
Okay, that's different and stupid.
I'm just saying.
I don't like it.
I don't like that they showed the transformation. I think they should have just showed.
Well,
like,
I'm sure it's
quick
more
cuts of it,
Yeah, whatever. It looks really cool.
but you don't want him to traumatize his family.
I kind of okay. So, having said that, I love Karate Kid. What is it? Cobra Kai, and the guy.
Oh, no, the show is Kid Karate.
Shut the fuck up.
What?
I'm sorry, I derailed it.
He did. I was like, wait, what?
Comedy.
We got some clips to play for this trailer too.
Yeah. No, but he. I really like that actor. I think he's a really good actor. I've way softened on George Lopez.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean,
I used to watch the show a lot.
I never really have. I started watching Lopez versus Lopez, which is his newest one.
Is it like Kramer versus Kramer?
No. Fucking what the fuck are you
I'm
talking
on a
about?
roll tonight.
No, I don't know if it's his real daughter or not, but I think it is actually. And it's really funny because they were doing TikTok videos and he was wearing like just a shirt with a flannel. And they were doing TikTok videos and he buttons his top button and starts doing like the whole like Vato thing from
Yeah.
like the 90s and shit. Which I thought was pretty funny.
I'm sorry, which I thought was pretty funny.
No, but I've softened on George Lopez a lot. He used to be like one of those comedians that was like, God, he's so irritating. But
yeah.
dude, he built like a career
I remember his special.
at a time when Latino comedians, I mean, that was not an easy gig.
I watched
dude.
his special, Why You Crying? which is pretty funny.
He's not funny. You know what I mean? Like, he's funny. It's just whatever.
You see, with the funniest thing about his stand-up is when he does his white guy voice.
Mm-hmm.
By far the funniest thing.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Like that's what it sounds like.
But I didn't know he was in that, so that's actually pretty cool.
There are also criticisms that like, oh, he's Green Lantern too, because it's like the suit's like I can make whatever you imagine. I'm like, I don't care. I don't know.
Here's the thing.
I don't know enough about Blue Beetle.
I don't know enough about the Jaime Reyes incarnation.
That's what I said too.
I know almost nothing about it.
I don't even know anything
Let me
about
scratch my butt.
the Ted Cord one either.
See, I do from like Justice League International from the 80s and 90s with Maguire and DeMatteis and
well, again, we
Giffen.
don't know. We don't know. Maybe they are bringing him into this somehow. I don't know. It'd be smart if they keep him out of the trailers because it'd be a fun little like what?
Yeah, I mean,
or he shows up at the end
I
and
don't-
just like makes
here-
a cameo.
here's
He's
my
like, hey
thing.
kid,
I
how's
don't-
my suit?
I
You know what I
don't want if DC, the DCEU and Warner Brothers has decided to go with this incarnation of Blue Beetle for their universe, I am fine with that. I don't want my Blue Beetle that I grew up with, that I know better, to be a part of the universe at the expense of the Jaime Reyes incarnation. Does that make sense?
Is it because you understand that comic books always have legacy characters? Legacy characters are just a mainstay. And there's different Blue Beetle, there's different Green Lantern.
There's a lot of great representation in this movie for a lot of Latinx people,
you know what?
and that's I don't want to take that away at the
Yeah,
expense of my.
And there's nothing wrong saying like, oh, I prefer.
Isn't that weird?
But I'm just saying in general,
Yeah.
like, there's nothing wrong with saying like, I prefer the Hal Jordan version versus the Guy Gardner Green Lantern or the John Stewart. That's fine,
Right?
but you're still gonna go in with an open mind and be like, hey, this could be fun.
I'm still gonna go watch it. It looks good.
As far as I know,
I don't know. That whole sequence where he like transforms and then like doesn't know what he's doing at all, and he's like falling, like what? What is this? What is?
Seen it before? Is that what it is?
No, it's just what are you trying to do? Are you telling me that this thing is gonna maybe kill him? That seems like a really stupid suit.
I feel like you're nitpicking.
I totally am. I am absolutely nitpicking, and it's a narrative choice, again, like the transformation is in front of his family.
Yeah.
I don't like some of the narrative choices that they are making in the trailer. However, I'm willing to bet that whole sequence that we saw from like his transformation to him right above the water, I'll bet you that's like a total of 10 minutes of screen time. So I know that it's not ruining.
Yeah.
I know the whole movie's not that.
I saw
but
people,
then they showed a couple more instances of him not knowing how to control the suit.
and the suit protected him.
Okay.
Again, I think that's what they're trying to convey is that
That's cool. Good.
that he's clearly the narrative is gonna
And I
be
don't-
narrative is gonna be like every other superhero
And
movie.
I don't
he
know-
figures out how to use it.
Right, exactly. How to use his
Oh,
powers.
he finally does it
Oh
at the
my
end of
God,
the movie.
holy crap.
But you know what? I'll enjoy it. I'll clap when it happens.
Yep. And again, I don't know enough about this version of the Blue Beetle to know if that's like how the story goes.
See, I'm honestly also wondering.
I think that Reyes gets that scarab and he has kind of a hard time controlling it. I thought that in the comics Ted Cord was like kind of a mentor to him before he gets murdered in the New 52 or whatever the crisis.
Can I
whatever,
also say this though?
whatever reboot.
Can I
it
also
was.
say this?
Yeah.
The fucking suit looks spectacular. God damn, that suit looks awesome.
Really, really good, right?
It's almost like because they had time to work on the CG because they kept delaying this movie, so they had. It's just like fucking Shazam. They're like, oh, these special effects aren't bad. It's like, yeah, because they kept delaying it. So like, well, I guess we'll just work on
they
this.
finished filming 9 years ago.
Exactly.
Jesus Christ.
Well, according to
all those kid actors who played
Also-
the kids, they're grandpas,
also worth pointing
they're
out,
grandparents.
there are people that like bitched about the bus scene where he split it in half and like nobody died because everybody. It's like you're telling me the bus has people perfectly sitting on each side. I'm also like, it's a movie. It's make believe.
Do you know that I was about to say something about like, how do you know somebody's leg isn't in the middle of the fucking?
Yeah.
Like, shut up, Tyler.
But
Just shut up.
But then again, I also say it's a movie, and this is an alien
It's a
suit
narrative
that he is
choice.
wearing.
Yeah. And it's probably, if it's going to protect him, it's probably not going to just randomly lop people's arms off. Right?
Yeah.
Well, you were in the way, motherfucker.
But yeah, the suit looks fantastic. I'm really vibing.
But
with
here,
it.
it's
I'm excited for
it's
this
a
movie. I
narrative
think it should be
choice. Okay, the narrative choice I was going to say about how I didn't like it, like, why can't you show me a different way of how the suit protects him than him cutting a bus in half?
Yeah.
But then I was like, who cares? And dude, this is not something that really happened. You can't tell me if that really happened. It didn't. Stop right there. You don't have to continue your thought.
Tell me that Superman's flight patterns was like
You
that
can't
shit.
tell me that if Blue Beetle really cut a bus in half, that somebody's wouldn't be.
Dude,
Well, it didn't happen.
I'm sorry. If I'm ever in a situation where that conversation, when it delves into that part of the conversation, I'd be like, stop it.
Stop it.
You know who wins that fight?
Nobody.
The writer tells you who fucking wins the fight. They're not real people. But also important to note, this comes out after The Flash. This comes out in August, so it is technically like supposed to be the lead into the this is the beginning of the DCU.
Okay.
The Superman movie is like officially going to launch it, but Blue Beetle, based on what I've understood from it, is going to stay in James Gunn is keeping Blue Beetle and using that. Which
Well, it makes sense. Like I said, the actor's really good.
And honestly, despite the terrible box office of Shazam 2, you could still put him in a Justice Society movie if you do that, because you already set that up. But 2, like James Gunn said in the announcement, is Shazam operates in magic and so far out of all this other stuff in the DCU, you can kind of have him over doing his own thing and then bring him over if you need him. Yeah. But I really dug this Blue Beetle trailer. I understand where you're coming from, where it's not like, because look, there are let me bring up the perspective. We joke that you're the Marvel shell, I'm the DC shell, right? And I see that. I absolutely see that.
Did you see I bought a DC book of my own last week? Okay.
But my point is that I was going to always be a little bit more positive on that than you were going to be, because I desperately want DC to fucking figure this shit out.
I do too.
I know you do, but for me, who really, really loves DC, I just want to see some good DC, because I love Marvel shit. But I've always grown up with the DC stuff.
Yeah, I'm actually like, there's a part of me that wants to see DC succeed, because I think Marvel is
bloated.
Well, it's not sustainable what they're doing. At some point, you have to reset. At some point, you have to.
Which is what I
There's
think
just
they're
no
doing
other
with the
choice.
Secret Invasion, Secret War stuff.
Sure, and that's a good idea.
So at the end of the
10 years, every 10 years.
real quick, we'll do 2 quick grifter clips on this.
Okay.
At the end of this trailer, George Lopez says Batman's a fascist.
It's a throwaway joke.
Absolutely a throwaway joke.
What?
But listen to the energy our boy Ryan Cannell, RK Outpost.
Oh, what a jerk off. I'm sorry.
Look how mad he is. By a throwaway joke. It's a joke,
Dude,
folks.
this guy is a joke, so okay.
At the end, the Batman is fascist at the end is just, this is pandering to these stupid these stupid fucking 20-year-old furry profile picture, she, them, don't know what your fucking gender is, don't buy comics, don't have money to go to movies. That's who that fucking shit is pandering to. Batman is a fascist. Fuck off with that. That's so stupid.
The goal of that is to what? Is to virtue signal to a bunch of freaks that don't care about this stuff in the first place. That's what that is.
No.
Not human beings.
No.
Freaks.
No. That joke was to trigger you dumb shits, and it worked. It worked.
What the fuck, dude? That guy had a
Also,
lot of shit built up, didn't he?
Keep
he
it-
was ready. Furry profile picture, see the hamburger deer.
He's so quick to defend the honor of Batman, where he's also the same
Who's a
guy.
fictional character? Who's a fictional character?
Not even that. Just listen to me go. Okay. The same guy who last year said there weren't enough good white people in the Batman is now defending the Batman so vehemently over a joke. And I'm sorry, if you read Frank Miller's Dark Knight and tell me that motherfucker ain't a fascist.
Dark Knight Rises. He's totally a fucking fascist. Are you kidding me?
He forced Dick Grayson to eat rats in the Batcave.
Hello.
That's some fascist ass behavior.
And here's
a boy who just lost his family.
Yeah.
And he would beat him and train him and then make him eat rats. No, okay. My point is that version of Batman is a fascist.
The point,
but again, the real point is you're getting way I don't care that much about
this.
He's
angry and wants to hurt real human beings who he calls freaks. Real human beings with real lives over a fucking fictional goddamn character who is, by the way, rich and got a bunch of texts so that he couldn't hurt him anyway.
Also,
Batman doesn't need you to defend him, motherfucker.
Also, it was George Lopez saying it.
And it's a throwaway.
A comedian made a joke in a movie.
And it's not even.
Think of the fucking comedy!
Yeah.
Speaking of-
yeah, RK, you douche.
I'm just saying, like, we are analyzing this more than we need to because it's a stupid ass joke.
because of what a fucking shithead he is.
I
dude.
agree with you.
God damn.
I agree with you. It's
Yeah.
so easy. So anyway, here's
Fucking whatever.
hey, remember this guy? You know,
Ooh.
Think of the fucking comedy!
he had some choice words
No.
about the Batman is a fascist joke. Keep in mind, this is also a man who once tweeted, "Remember, colonization is civilization." Remember.
Oh.
He's just like, oh, this tech looks like Batman. Here, listen to this.
It's like Batman stuff.
Batman's a fascist.
Batman's a fascist.
A fascist.
Batman's a fascist. Screw this piece of dog shit. I hope it absolutely tanks in a cinema. It looks like a CGI CW Saturday morning cartoon piece of crap.
Well, first of all, I like.
DC Marvel, you get exactly what you fucking deserve.
God, there was
Is
a
he done
pause
yet?
at the end
Is
of
he
that
done?
clip. Well, that's another thing. That dude, I have to edit his clips just to keep on
Yeah.
time
Oh,
because
yeah.
he takes so many long pauses. But I was like, well, first of all,
Because he's trying to form sentences
like
because he's an idiot.
first of all, I like Saturday Morning Cartoon.
Me too.
Secondly,
Also, if he does
I'm
actually
sorry,
have
I
a
was-
mental thing, like, I apologize, of course.
no, he's just a piece.
No, I'm-
he's just.
We know he's a piece of shit,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't want to, like,
he's just
kick
too
a
lazy
guy when he's down.
He's too lazy to edit his videos. That's really what it is. You can easily edit that shit, or have an editor do it for him. But you know.
Also, he doesn't explain why he's pissed off at all. He just says, I hope this fucking piece of shit tanks.
Well, he's mad. Well, he did.
You get what you fucking deserve.
That was a clip from his like trailer reaction,
Uh-huh.
and I really just
Oh.
wanted. All I was looking for was his reaction to the fascist joke because,
What a bunch of fucking babies.
dude, it's a joke.
And you like fascists?
Think of the fucking comedy!
I think they're mad because they don't like Batman and they like fascism.
We should do a deep. We should do a
They
deep.
are against Antifa,
We
which
should-
is anti-fascism.
We should do a deep dive on whether or not Batman is a fascist for another day. Because you could argue the man is
You know, all we have to do to get like a shitload of clips is call this episode "Batman's a Fascist." You know that, right?
fashy Batman.
Fashy Batman, yeah, yeah.
We didn't give it a rating though. So overall, I'm gonna say
Yes,
I'm
Me
excited
too.
for Blue
Me
Beetle.
too.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Really gonna be a
Well,
sour
well,
puss. For
right
mo-
after the trailer, I was like, because I didn't really, I don't know, I always do this. I do this shitty thing where I'm like, well, it's DC. It's not gonna be any good. You know
What does it mean?
you know.
what's the end game here?
You know, where's the Easter eggs? Where's the cameos?
Comedy!
All right, so
Comedy.
let's move on to the next trailer. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, trailer number 2. And let me just say, I am so mad I have to wait until June. I can't. I want to see this movie right now.
Let me just say this. I'm so hot.
Comedy!
No, yeah. I mean, dude, I don't know what the end game is.
That's the second.
I don't even. I just start like by default.
What does it mean?
What's going on?
What are you, like a philosopher?
I know the Spot is in it. They kind of alluded to it.
Yeah.
They didn't show as much of him in this one, but they alluded to it at one point.
He's in the boot. Yeah, he's mixed.
I think there's something going on with Miguel O'Hara.
Yeah, maybe all this multiverse hopping corrupting
I
his brain.
love all the fucking Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
was great.
oh my god, that's so cool. And then of course the joke is just great. You, me, you.
Oh yeah,
And, like, the
stop
entire-
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. They literally do the meme.
Like all over the fucking place. There's
Well,
like
and
1,000 of
The
them.
fun of that is really because when Marvel went whole hog on the idea of like, why don't we just make our own little Spider-Verse? Because Spider-Man will always sell. Any Spider character sells. And to be honest, most of them do. I read Spider-Gwen for a while. I really liked Spider-Gwen. I can't remember who did her.
I think I've
original
kind of
run.
outgrown the Spider comics. I did the Spider Punk.
But it is cool.
series that came
But it
out.
is cool that you see like you get to see the Spider-Man that's from the PS4 game interacting with this other Spider-Man. You see Scarlet Spider. And by the way, Christopher Miller kept saying on Twitter, like, you guys don't understand, like, every shot is intentional, and they're mixing tons of different styles. And, like, when you see Scarlet Spider and he looks like he's fucking actually in a comic book panel coming at you. I'm like,
yeah.
holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I love the animation style. We talked about it last year when it came, or when the last one came out with the Zipatone, and what my brother used to use, and like, and that of course it just looks really good.
Did you notice when he was failing in Spanish class, when his mom is snapping at him, it's Puerto Rican flags on the snap? Like the little snap effect is literally a Puerto Rican flag. And I'm like, just little shit like that I feel like I'm going to see this movie and then like just because there's so many Easter eggs and so much little shit that I'm going to be looking for. Like dude, I can't fucking wait, dude. This one is the biggest slam dunk trailer I think I've seen in a while. And I said that about the first trailer. Like, you don't need to sell me on this movie. I'm going to see this fucking
You really
movie.
can keep your trailers. I mean, but I like them, of course.
Yeah. Well, and I love that they're going to do like, and they alluded to in that first trailer, I think we're going to see a lot of Gwen, Miles, romantic relationship, and they already kind of set that up in the first one.
Yeah.
I'm fucking stoked. Peter B. Parker's back. We get to see Jake Johnson, and oh my gosh, dude, Mayday is in this. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, I feel like the writers of this are given 2 big double birds to fucking Marvel editorial, because anytime they took away any sort of happiness from Peter Parker, I wanted to. Again, he's a fictional character. I understand that, but it's like, you guys are such pussies that you couldn't commit to him having a daughter and writing stories about dealing with a spider-powered kid. Like, oh my gosh, a new narrative decision. No, we got to cut that off.
Oh, dude,
he can't be
there's
happy
a
with...
whole thing in the comics
Tyler,
right now coming up in issue 25. The answer will shock everybody. Like,
Tyler, how can we write stories about Peter Parker being married? That's too hard. Let's just break him up. We can't write a story where he's happy with Mary Jane. We got to break him up.
Can I just really interject real quick?
What?
Yes,
thank you for putting Mayday in this.
Yeah, but I was reading the Spider-Man comics when he gets married and when all that, and it got really fucking boring.
I hate you so much. But anyway, this trailer gets...
Sorry.
Yes.
Slam dunk.
Slam Dunkin' Donuts.
Big fan of it. However, some grifters were not.
Yeah!
Free advertising!
That was awesome.
So that's what you get for getting a free soundboard? Free advertising
here on your podcast. You didn't mean to pay for it.
Imagine the person that crashed their car because it was so loud. What the fuck?
We're gonna have to shut your podcast down. Why is that? Too many vehicle accidents.
We didn't commit any FCC violations. We didn't say. We said free.
You cause more accidents than drunk drivers. Wow. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of proud of that.
You overestimating our reach.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of proud of that, officer.
I wouldn't be, but all right.
Well, no, I mean, yeah.
All right.
Okay, let's do this.
All right. So, well, you're gonna get me really mad, so I'm trying to butter you up.
Well, thanks.
So there's a shot, blink if you miss it, frame in Gwen's room in the trailer that says protect trans kids. My phone went off. It's protect trans kids. That's it.
Yep.
It's very similar to the Batman as a fascist line. Something very simple, something very throwaway. Of course, our favorite Christian bigot, Melanie Mack, Go Boomers, has a Go Boomer. Well, of course, we had Chuds and Bigots, then we had Heel versus Fuckface. So now we have to have Melanie Mack, Go Boomer.
Mm-hmm.
She made a video with like a 16.
She did.
She did. But here's the best part.
Good for her.
She called it a disturbing trailer for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse because of a trans flag in the back and a shot. But she posted a tweet before. She tweeted something, and I quote tweeted it, where she said, well, I'm out, because she had that really... First of all, Bounty in a Comics is a dog shit website.
Yeah.
And they said that Across the Spider-Verse was in support of children's genital mutilation. Because if you're trans,
you guys are missing the whole fucking point of this entire of transgenderism.
Right.
Like, you don't even know what it is, so shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, you're acting
she says
like
it's satanic.
No, let's talk about this. You're acting like some kid wakes up one day You're acting like some kid wakes up one day and he's a boy and he just decides to be a girl. So he goes to the doctor, they cut his dick off and give him a pussy, and then, oh no, I didn't mean that the next day.
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
Well,
you have to live and take hormones as that gender for a year at least before they do any surgery.
They don't do any
all.
and they don't do underage surgery. They don't.
No, they can't.
They give you hormone blockers.
Yes.
And or hormones and puberty blockers, whatever you want to call
But
them.
it doesn't affect you, motherfucker.
Okay.
Sorry.
Better yet.
Thank you.
She said, "Well, I'm out." Like she didn't want to see the movie.
Good. I don't want to fucking see her at the movie.
So then I quote tweeted, "Shocker, the transphobe is a transphobe."
You know what's really funny is she didn't even notice the protect trans kids flag. So one of her idiot followers
Somebody
who has nothing to do
Bounty in a
just
comic
sat there
screenshotted
and
it.
just sat there and just
some
frame by frame for hours.
Hey,
Did you see that?
Johnson,
Did
you
see
get
that?
on that trailer? Did you see anything that we could bitch about that's woke?
That's right.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Because we've got to send it out to all
Check
of
it
our-
out, boss.
Well, then
Look what I found in
and then
this frame. It's a protect trans kid
And then,
flag.
what
See?
happens, and then what happens is they shoot that into the internet, and then it goes to this magical tube of all these dumb fucking bigots and chuds and right-wing grifters, and it lands in their lap, and they go, nom, nom,
It's
I
so
eat it,
magical.
I love capitalism.
Oh,
Anyway,
I love it. I love it. Get clicks on me.
Comedy.
so she has a 16-minute video.
That's for the people who don't get who comment on our videos. That's to tell them, hey, we were joking.
it's a joke.
It's virtue signaling
This is not a serious podcast in any shape or
at
form.
all. Also, yeah, I mean,
Unless we
and
talk,
you-
unless we
none
talk
of y'all
about
are serious either, because I mean, listen to yourselves.
So anyway, she made a long video about this. Because I love you and
Thank
this
you
show,
for doing
I
this.
watched the whole thing.
Hey, buddy. Thanks.
So the gist of it is
I wouldn't have.
her problem with it. And by the way, we got a bonus. We got Eric July too. So her problem
super.
with it is because it's normalizing it, and when you normalize these things, and it becomes a problem. And then again, as she always does, she has to bring up her Christianity. So she brings up her Christianity and talks about how she feels
nobody
that.
fucking cares.
By the way, this
who
is
you pray to. At
I want
the end of the day.
people to understand. I want people to understand the reason I've been going after Melanie Mack, because she has a pattern of constantly talking about we are in spiritual warfare with religion, and Satanism is on the rise. Anybody that's woke,
Christ
anybody that's
almighty.
woke is a Satanist, because yes, you're satanic because you accept other people for who they
Melanie
are.
Mack, I got to tell you something that
She also claims that transgenderism itself, she's like, I don't have a problem with it if it's adults, but if we're being totally honest, I still think
I do wanna say
God made you
real
who
quick before you play
God
the
made
clip.
you who you are, is what she keeps putting.
Right.
It's
And he's
stupid.
not wrong. But Melanie Mack, I want to tell you something. The Catholic Church, whenever they found out that priests were abusing little boys, they sent them to another parish. You know what they do in the Satanic Church? They fucking fire them and fucking report them to the police. So I don't know. I think I would rather be in the Satanic Church than the fucking Catholic one.
Here's a clip I chopped up that really
saying.
This was just the kind of the main points of
Not
what
a great track record
what she did, because I took her 15-minute video and made it concise.
when it comes to child abuse.
I chopped it up to a minute and a half.
Thank
but
you.
Because
Thank you, buddy.
Well, really, I just wanted to pull out the things that she was really talking about the flag, really driving home the stuff with the flag.
But after capitalizing on said success, their sequel seems to be shoehorning a ton of
One trans
woke
flag.
stuff, quite frankly.
A black
And
woman
the
was in it.
most egregious of them all is promoting the mutilation of children
No, they're not.
through a flag that says
Yeah, a fucking flag
protect
can
trans
mutilate
kids.
children,
Yes.
you idiot.
And
You should
as
know
we
that.
know,
You should know that.
Why wouldn't you want
trans
to
kids are about
protect
as real
kids?
as a vegan cat? Okay, they don't make that decision for them.
Stop. You interrupted.
Oops.
You gotta let it play out, buddy. Because she doesn't believe trans kids are real.
Wow, I didn't even know that. Holy
She
fuck.
thinks there's
That-
real
that
as a
literally.
Hey,
yeah.
Tyler,
I'm gonna have to back away from the microphone.
Tyler, listen. I pull up her clip and Eric July's clip because they both, unequivocally, without a doubt, don't believe trans kids are real.
I can tell you they do.
They exist.
I worked with at least a couple of them.
One of the biggest
I've
conservative
worked with many of them. Actually.
trans bigots, Blair White, she herself said that she knew she was trans at 5 years old. But yet she's the one who's always against, like, we shouldn't mutilate the kids, do this to the kids. But you yourself said at 5 years old you knew you wanted to be a woman, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
And but like, this is what I mean. You can't say that they don't exist because you don't fucking know that. I'm sorry. When you say trans,
I don't know any, so they don't exist.
Exactly.
Wow.
And I'm not saying that all tomboys are trans. I'm not saying feminine boys are female. I'm not saying that.
We're trying to get to a part in a moment in our civilization where we don't need to say somebody is trans.
So let's
or
get through this
Thank you.
we
Yeah,
can
sorry.
get through the rest of this.
Is being transgender a mental illness? I think it's demonic oppression more than anything, but that's a whole other discussion. Some people are going to be like, well, it's not that big of a deal. It's a poster in Gwen's room, right?
But here she goes.
And that's it. It doesn't play a role in the movie. Well, of course it's subtle because, they can't globally release this otherwise, and they have to be able to have versions of it that are going to go to other regions that would not accept this. And B, that's just how you start with brainwashing people. It's a slow process. It's like boiling a frog. People who want to introduce concepts and absolutely crazy things, like in this case, mutilating children. The fact that it says kids on it, I can't support it. Whatever you guys do, whatever you guys watch, it's your business. But for me personally, I just can't.
Fun fact. Fun fact. Both Melanie Mack and Eric July don't have children. So that always makes me laugh.
Weird.
Always makes me laugh.
Weird.
So, yeah, let's bring the...
So what business do they have talking about fucking children's welfare?
Exactly, Tyler. Use their own logic against them and talk about that and say, why do you care so much
Why
about
are you so
this?
obsessed with children's bodies?
You guys talk about children
all the time.
I swear to God.
Somebody ought to check their fucking search history.
All those Daily Wire...
Their deep web dives.
All those Daily Wire chuckle fucks... All the Melanie Mack, fucking Eric July, they talk about kids' genitals about as much as a fucking pedophile probably does. Like, come on.
What the fuck is wrong with you? That's what I tweeted at you. I was like, what the fuck,
I want to
dude?
be very clear.
Yeah.
I'm not directly calling anybody a pedophile.
Nope.
I'm not saying that at all.
I don't even think exactly what these idiots do.
I don't think
back to them.
I don't even think they're attracted. I don't think they are. I don't
Absolutely
think they
not.
are.
No.
But I'm just saying, you guys need to realize how much you are attacking people and talking about kids' genitals.
Yes.
It's fucking weird.
Yes. And you're hurting real kids with your rhetoric.
Yeah.
You're fucking hurting real kids.
Okay, so we're going to get through this.
Yes.
We can do it. Eric July. Oh, by the way, disturbing trailer. This is no laughing matter is what Eric July says.
I've made this point.
By the way, one shot in a trailer, a fucking flag.
I didn't notice it.
Many times, there's no such thing, okay? And Hollywood's infested with these freaking weirdos. It's not at all surprising. The slippery slope was never a slope. It was more akin to a cliff where you're at a free fall. When they said they were going to be coming for your children, and people, they said they were religious zealots. They were off base.
Fun.
Is he just connecting random words together? It doesn't sound like he's making.
It does.
I mean,
it sounds like fragments.
I know he's trying to sound intelligent by being like the slippery slope was more like a cliff and a free fall. Like that doesn't tell me anything about what you're trying to tell.
Real quick, Eric.
What's your point?
Real quick, Eric. Yes, they are targeting your children to make money.
Yes,
because they know that if the kid wants to see it, the kid can convince their parents to go to the movie with them and spend more money.
Any big box store or a toy store and look around and guess how many of those toys are based off of television shows that your kid watches.
But
wait, you don't have kids, Jarek. Shut the fuck up. Go ahead.
It's Eric, but I like it. A lot of people have been calling him Derek August, just because it's funnier sounding.
So when they would say that, that's kind of where we were going, the direction. Well, they were certainly correct here.
Okay.
I hate that this is a conversation that we have to have.
No, we don't.
You hate to have it. Nobody has to have it.
No, you think we do?
Discussion about.
We don't need to have it, Eric.
But it is a very serious one because you have people that are actively acting as if this is something that needs to be normalized.
No, that's
what
not.
should have been off limits, no matter where you're at ideologically, no matter where you're at politically or socially. It should have been understood that the kids stay out of that. The kids, the children are not supposed to be a part of that.
Bring this fucking energy when they shoot up a school.
Yeah.
Bring this energy.
Holy shit.
Shut the fuck up about a goddamn flag in an animated movie that you aren't going to see. That you've admitted. Don't let me. I'm cooking. And so just remember, Remember this energy when you want to spout your stupid libertarian ideological bullshit about fucking Second Amendment rights. This should have stopped when they went after the kids. You'd think after Sandy Hook and Parkland and Uvalde, and I'm just throwing, that's just the ones that I can name off the top of my memory, Eric. Bring that fucking energy when it's actually something that is killing kids. Supporting someone's choice and supporting their lifestyle is not evil in any way. Unless, of course, they're like a fucking cannibal or a pedophile or something like that. But you know what I mean. So bring that fucking energy where it belongs. Mm-hmm. Please. Because I'm sorry. A fucking animated movie with a flag that is going to get no attention, it's just going to be there, isn't going to kill kids.
You know, I wouldn't mind, Eric, if you directed that ire at children's beauty pageants. You want to talk about fucking grooming and shit,
or
dude.
bring that energy when they take little boys to fucking Hooters, dude. Bring that energy then.
You know what I mean? Like,
shut up.
I'm just like,
not you, Eric.
No, I'm saying like, you want to talk about something that's like really creepy and grooming, dude. Children's like beauty pageants. That's fucking creepy.
Yeah. Why is
all of that shit, and it's a gigantic fucking industry, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking gigantic.
There's
so
a reality series.
Maybe start looking at something that is harming children actively.
So I want to cut one of the topics. So that means we're gonna jump to a great segment.
Those fucking air drums are on point, brother.
Did you see that, dude? I was rocking it,
dude. You were like Keith Moon.
Okay, let's not get
from
the Okay, so again, last week's
you're like Dave Grohl.
I wish.
Hey.
So last week's episode again got corrupted. I don't know what happened, so we lost half the episode. I didn't even realize until I uploaded it, and I was like, oh shit. So we reviewed a book last week, and I want to give it its due as much as we can here. So we have two books this week.
Yep.
The first one is Dead Romans, written by Fred Kennedy and Nick. You know this, Marinkovich.
Marinkovich.
Close enough. Marinkovich.
Yeah.
First of all, it's clear that the inspirations for this was 300.
There's a lot
of
that
epic, historical, like fantastical. It's like it's even got like. I wouldn't say there are like supernatural elements in this.
I think there's meant to be implied that there's something other than otherworldly.
But man, dude, you look at some of these some of these panels, like the splash pages, and it's just great. And
the art is fantastic.
The art is incredible.
It's we talked about how they look like stone statues sometimes, almost.
Yeah, and that's that's what makes it so cool is having
strong
that
lines,
aesthetic of like this is like telling a story of like men that were made of stone. But I do agree with you. I think I think what I would hope is they do something a little bit different with the coloring.
Maybe
because you're right. There are parts
costuming.
There's parts of the story where I thought it was one character because it looked like another character. And it was a little bit confusing.
That confused me a lot, yeah.
But I also love the fact that it's focusing on Germania and the Germans trying. Because what it is there's a Roman soldier who is from Germania, gets put into slavery, into the army for the Romans, and his thing is he's with this other slave, Honoria.
It's Sarah's.
And he says, "You are my queen, and I'll kill thousands of Romans to give it to you." And so that's where we get the whole storyline of Dead Romans. And dude, this was the first one that we read on this show. Like, there's a couple that we read. I really, really wanted to read more of the Milestone one.
Oh, Icon versus
Hardwire.
Yes.
I really like that. Mm-hmm. But this one is the first one. I also really liked
Black Cloak.
Black Cloak. I like that a lot too because I like Kelly Thompson. I really like her. She has a Deadpool series that's pretty good. King Deadpool.
Nice.
But this is the first one I was like, I want to read issue 2.
Yeah.
I'm really interested in issue 2 because I love that ancient history shit. I'm really into that.
Yeah.
So
Beautiful art. Again, I got kind of confused a couple times, but I think you read it a couple times. I only read it the one, so I think that's why I didn't. Well, no,
but I mean, just like a preview of the second issue, where like there's a panel of just red and then panels of yellow. And it's like the fucking
it's
art
reminiscent.
Is
there's a lot of Sienkiewicz, Bill Sienkiewicz, who did like New Mutants and stuff back in the day. A lot of reminiscent of that, very much.
Yeah, and it's weird because there's some parts that are very colorful, and then there's other parts that are like super stripped down, like gray,
very
washboard.
gray scale,
I fucking love it.
Hey,
I hit my mic. My mic's breaking. Oh, oh,
damn it!
I'm trying to fix it.
Don't like it.
Why don't you take your fucking headphones off then? All right?
Are you gonna fix it?
No, I think it's fine. I watched.
Didn't
Didn't record anything. It just fucking. You done fucked. All right, so second book this week.
Like? Let's look at it while we're. Let's look at the.
Look at the wavelength.
Might as well. I mean.
No, it's working. It's fine.
Cool. Cool.
So this next one, talk about a change in tones in two books. Because I read this the day we were recording earlier today. So this is Saturday Morning Adventures, put out by IDW for Dungeons and Dragons.
Now they have a long history of like G.I. Joe, Transformers, Ghostbusters. Yeah. See, I grew up with this comic, with this cartoon.
There's a shot where it's a 2-page splash, and it's them going through like different dimensions and shit. Really, really cool. The
art is very.
I love that it looks like a cartoon.
Yes, the art is very. What's the word I'm looking for? It's not.
Well, it is like a Saturday morning thing. So.
Comic book art has always been very derivative. I mean, it's not meant to necessarily evoke real people. It's more caricatures
they're
and
always
characters.
Exaggerated,
exactly,
muscular.
But the thing is you get a lot more like exposition about these kids in this one book. This alone right here, we never got any of this shit during the cartoon. You know, we didn't know.
What's fun about it,
we knew they were teenagers.
This is a story that's told from the perspective of kids. So like the description, because the whole plot is these D&D these kids playing D&D together.
Well, I'll show you. You can find the cartoon on streaming somewhere. It's a great cartoon. You should watch one episode, and the beginning of every episode shows how they get to.
Yeah, how we got here. Yeah,
that's the open.
But essentially, they get sucked into the game, and they get sucked into the world of Dungeons and Dragons. And but it is funny because like each kid is like, there's Eric. He's the Cavalier. He's strength, charisma, weakness, bravery checks. You know, Hank is clearly the narrator because he scribbles out his weaknesses, and you don't see his. And then Presto is the wizard. He's got wisdom, but he lacks his weakness is self-confidence checks. Hat of many spells, often useless. Like just things like that. And again, what a whiplash in tones. Where this is clearly more fun.
But I absolutely loved it because it seems like they're like, hey, for the first time ever, it wasn't that long of a series. I think it was only one season or two. But they never obviously make it back home during the series.
Yeah.
And in this, for the first time, they start talking about like, why
should we?
Yeah. Which it's kind of cool here. You know, it's like,
but you know, and that what I love about this book is it did give you that like, it's written from the perspective of kids, so it gives you that nostalgic feeling of what it was like to be a kid and have like no other worries and just be like, why should we leave? We can keep doing all this. We're literally living in a game. Like we can kill these dragons and do this others, and it's. Whereas an adult, you're like, no, you have to go home. But that's what's so funny. As I'm reading this, right, I'm siding with Hank because I'm like, well, what about your parents? What about other people? You know, like.
Well, he's the older one anyway, and his sister. I think
they're all like 15. They're
so she's her.
They're freshmen in high
she's
school.
his older sister. The little kid, Sheila's his older sister.
Yeah.
And I don't think any of the rest of them are related. Or no, it's not Sheila.
Sheila.
Oh, she's a body little. Yeah, she's Sheila. Diana is the acrobat. That's right.
But I will say it moves at a clip. It moves like a cartoon. That is one of my criticisms. I just felt like there was a little bit more meat on the bone that we could have had.
I think
because it kind of just comes to an end at the end of the issue.
I think if you, it does. That is an abrupt.
It's kind of an
end.
abrupt end, right?
But I think if you had if you'd grown up with the with the cartoon.
Well, and another reason why it reads it so fast is because it is doing what I love about what good art and good comics can do. A lot of its storytelling is visual. There's some exposition, there's obviously dialogue, but most of it is just visual.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it moves so quickly. And and again, it's clearly aimed at a younger audience. It's aimed at more of like a preteen to teenage audience because these kids are freshmen in high school.
Well, they got to know also that there are people my age who grew up with the cartoon who are also going to probably...
I'm not trying to be ageist.
No, I'm saying...
You can't read it, old man.
It's in young person's language.
It's young adult. Y-A. There's no Y
You
without
are
A.
O-A. Old adult.
Wow. That's the next album. O-A. Oa. Olda.
Oh, man. Oh, my God. Well,
that's why the
let's
Guardians live on
Let's turn off the
old.
podcast before I give away all my good ideas.
Oa means old adult. That's
Old
why
adult.
the Guardians
That's
live
why the
there.
Guardians look like the... yeah. You know? Did you notice that the Dungeon Master looks like a lot like a Guardian of Oa? But like a white dude, because like they're blue. The Guardians.
IDW, so they couldn't do that. Okay, they can't. By the way, we've been getting a lot of IDW books. I noticed. I feel like I'm going to read the whole IDW catalog before the year's end. You know what? And that's the fun of the show. That's why we do it.
What's happened a couple times is I've gotten there when she's not there or she's off on Wednesdays.
Oh, by the way, thanks to Mayhem Comics for
yes,
supplying us with both
absolutely.
the comics and Clive.
But some
good save.
Oh yeah, but I think some days they're not there, so they leave me 2 books to choose from. And like I said, I want to make sure that we're not having any sort of hand in choosing any of these books, because that's the point. But choosing between 1 or 2 is great. Like today she wasn't there, but she just had 1 for me, which is good. And then last week I think they gave me two to look at, and I chose 1 over the other because it was like, that's cool.
Wow,
So there
you
is a
broke
little
your
bit
own
of
rules.
Yeah. Well, there is. I mean, there are going to be times when I'm choosing 1 or the other, and I try to get something so far away from what I normally read, because that's the point. We want to broaden out and read other things that we wouldn't normally think of,
and we're also playing the game of like, I mean, because if you think about it, whoever's giving us these, she's also playing the game of like, hey, what would be interesting?
Oh, yeah.
And so she's playing the game of what you do when you go to a comic shop. That cover looks cool. I use that.
Well, the other thing too is one of the ones that we were looking at the books one day. I think it was like the 2nd or 3rd time I was in there, and we were looking at the books, and she was like, she pulled one out that I thought looked kind of interesting, and then thought, I think kind of under her breath, she was like, well, that's not I was wanted to get you a number 1, and I said like, hey, that's not necessary. Like, I do like that though. I do want to start on the ground floor of something.
Yeah.
But I also like if there's a book that has been going for like 200 issues and it's really popular or something, like, hey, well, I want to take a look at 201 or 204 or 206. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have a problem like doing number 1s all the time, but I'm also, whatever they give us is good.
Well, I mean, good.
They've given us a good wide range of selections, which is what the point was.
Yeah.
To read books that we normally would. There has been a lot of, I would say, and not necessarily on purpose, just luck of the draw, but there have been a lot of fantasy elements in the books that we've read.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Yeah. Which is not usually what I read. I'm more sci-fi, superhero stuff.
I'm actually going to tell them if they got some horror books. Because I don't usually read those, but, What? Yeah, slick the hair back, Ron. Yeah! Get your jean jacket out! Wow. It's like Slipknot. Did you ever see Scanners?
The metal was too hard.
It was too rough. Well, that was a good show. Good job. Good job. Good job. Sure.
Long
box.
Let's do a quick long box.
Let's do it.
Long.
We haven't done it for a while. We haven't done it for a while.
Oh, that's a song. Keep that. Put
Been a while
Put a
since I wrote a good song.
Hey, put a pen in that.
Thanks for putting a pin in my forehead. A literal pin.
Nope, not that one.
God damn it.
All right, so let's talk about sex. See? Because when you say that,
By the way, it's salt. It's
salt and pepper.
mm-hmm.
Sorry, I said it too white.
It's okay.
I said it too white. I'm sorry.
No, I was just you need to it's the letter N, not A-N-D,
Sweet.
and then it's P-E-P-A, so peppa.
So anyway, let's. I'll go first. Get ready to get mad. I'm going to talk about a video game.
You son of a bitch.
I'll eat your ass.
That should be a drop. Anytime I bring up video games, you son of a bitch. This is pop culture, comic books, not that stupid video.
Wait till I get to my long box.
Oh, Judgment at Nuremberg. Jesus.
What?
Yours goes.
It's a movie.
We'll get there. Well, mine is Fallout New Vegas because I've been going back.
No, it's fine. While you're doing yours, everybody's going to be like, fucking, we better enjoy this because Tyler's is going to suck, clearly. Thanks for giving it away.
$1 million, bitch.
That's how much you owe me.
That's how
fucking
much
up my
this-
long box. You owe me $1 million, bitch.
Or
Crack cocaine.
I'll
I'll
take
take that.
I'll take either.
I'll take that. That works. I will smoke it.
What episode? There was an episode where it ends where you said,
Yeah.
"If you give me
I will
crack,
find it and I will smoke it.
So Fallout New Vegas. If you look in my basement, I have the posters of the perks from Fallout 4. So I'm a big Fallout guy.
This is a big fall guy.
Uh,
A 95.3 KGGO.
the fuck. I'm never gonna get to this. Okay, so yeah, I don't know really what got me into it because I played a ton of Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 4, and I don't know. Sometimes I just get an itch and I gotta scratch it to go back to. I gotta have more cowbell.
Wow.
So I'm back in the Mojave Desert. And no, what I love about New Vegas more so than even 3 and 4 is in New Vegas, it's the guys that, because the Fallout was originally owned by one company. They made two Fallout games, a bunch of other games, and then they went under. Bethesda got the license. That's how we have Fallout 3, Fallout 4, and New Vegas. Well, New Vegas is written and led by the guys who did the original 2 games. Nice. So they're tying stuff back to Fallout 2 if you're into that and you played that. But it's like, but they really went with the approach of they wrote the story of like, we are writing this story and there's always a branch. And a good role-playing game will have that, where they have a thing set up. So like, because there's these factions and there's this Caesar's Legion. You could go into his fortification hill is what he calls it. You can go into his little thing, kill him, even though he's a major player in the story, and then the story is like, okay, well, he's dead, but there's still other people in the in this Legion that can run it. So then, like the game, the story flows and adapts to you, and it's still, I think, incredibly well done. 13 years later, and which was really funny, as I mentioned it last week. I was playing through, and I'm like, I'm gonna go and play with this faction because I've never done it before. And then I looked at my achievements, and I'm like, wait, I did do that.
Yeah, you told me about that. Yeah.
Well, because there's like 4 different ways to end the game.
Right.
One of them is you say fuck everybody and you're the leader and you're like, all right, we're gonna have an independent Vegas, so fucking let's party on the strip like the good old days. And then there's like other options, but I picked that one the first time. And keep in mind, I was in high school at the time, so I was like, fucking independence. And
with
then,
the emphasis on high.
oh yeah,
all right.
And then so the second time I played with the New California Republic, or the NCR. And this time I'm playing through and I'm really analyzing everything, and I'm like, what makes the game so good is there's so much gray. There's no black and white. There's no good guys. There's no bad guys.
Right.
Those are the best stories.
And the more I'm helping with the NCR, then I found out that I already beat it with that, so I'm like, I could just bail out of this. But the more I help them, I'm like, you guys I always assumed you guys were the good guys, even when I played through the second time. But the more I play through, I'm like, you're just you do offer good help to the citizens of your banner of your state,
Sure.
but you also bully people, and you take up land, and you don't have a ton of resources to do it. Multiple times, I'm running fucking errands for these guys because they don't supply themselves well enough. And then I'm like, oh yeah, that's good writing. Fuck the NCR. I'm not gonna help them anymore because all I am, and that's what I mean though. Is it's such a good game that I'm having these dilemmas again and getting back into it and being like, well how do I do this and do this?
Based on what I've seen on Fox News, that's exactly what the real California like is now. Yeah. Which is why I don't watch Fox News.
Hey, here's the here's the problem with
Can you believe that
Here's the problem with New California Republic. They claim to be a republic and democratic, but the second president they had served 10 terms. Okay, she was pretty much a queen. All right. So I don't trust the NCR.
Okay. So
you know what?
us over here
to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Also, fuck Caesar's Legion because they have slaves. So I immediately
fuck you guys
because they have slaves. If I see any of them, I kill them.
Fuck them.
Because like you said when we were talking off the air, no point in society is it okay to own a human being.
Yeah.
Even in the apocalypse, especially in the apocalypse, and especially in Fallout New Vegas. Fuck the Legion, NCR, okay, because they can give me some good weapons.
They can give me some good shit.
I might,
Also, they got the only remaining weed
Anyway,
left in the game.
I want to do a video on it at some point, but yeah.
Do that, buddy.
I love Fallout New Vegas. I love it so much.
My long box of the week.
Nobody listens to this at this point. Everybody's like, who are these fucking chuckle fucks?
Chuckle fucks. I love how chuckle and fuck rhyme.
I want somebody to stop the car and be like, are these guys out of their butt fucking minds?
What?
So, no, that's good that we're being humorous because, my long box is going to be a little...
Yeah, let's talk about Nuremberg. That's going to be a real fun topic.
No, just hang on.
It's a movie.
Stop. Let me start. There's nothing more that I think is more insidious and dangerous and shitty for a human being to be than a Holocaust denier. And I saw this movie, Judgment at Nuremberg. It was done in 1961. So just to kind of give you an idea, you know that Spotlight movie that came out a few years back about the Catholic? Okay. It's kind of like about that time frame. So it's about 10, 12 years after the actual fact, 1948 to 1961. Okay, does that give you kind of a time? So it's like if we got a movie for something that happened in 2010. Mm-hmm. But, of course, it's the World War. But so it's not that long after the war. And first of all, the performances by all the actors and actresses, Judy Garland, Spencer Tracy, Burt Lancaster, Richard Widmark is really, really good. Maximilian Schell, fucking Marlene Dietrich, like the queen of German cinema, dude. No, she was, dude.
You're naming these names and I have no idea.
Well, that's because you don't.
Before my time.
Well, they haven't really been. You've probably heard of Spencer Tracy.
No.
He's okay. He's right up there with like Bogart and shit. But whatever. Probably never even watched Casablanca, have you?
No.
Well, or right, because I tried and it's not that good.
Or fucking Citizen Kane.
We're gonna get a lot of letters on that one.
Yeah, the fucking Casablanca stands out there like, hey,
you son of a bitch! I'm gonna get off my walker and come over.
I handled all that other politics stuff, but the minute you went after my Casablanca, I fucking quit.
Now, no, it's a fictionalized account of what actually happened, and it deals with like there was basically a court case in 1939, 38, 39, something like that. And it was basically there was a law in the books that a non-Aryan couldn't have any relations at all with a Aryan, so a Jew with an Aryan. It was the racial pollution laws. Obviously, the Nazis were fuckfaces and pieces of shit.
So they really, really tried hard to make Aryan a race, huh?
Well, according to them, there is. Well, no. If you look up the word Aryan, it doesn't mean what Nazis. Yeah, it's a completely different.
You're gonna find out that most of these guys are not that creative and they co-opt.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Case in point, their fucking logo.
Right, but what happened is they literally it was a show trial just to get fervor whipped up against the Jews, and it was to show like that your time in this country is limited and everything. And it deals a lot with how a lot of the movie deals with this guy, this judge, this American judge who's over there in Europe trying to figure out, did you guys know about the concentration camps? And every single German's like, no, we didn't know. No.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like
obviously you did.
Throughout the movie, there's so many moments where it's like, how the fuck could you not have known?
Yeah.
And so it's an abject lesson in how much guilt can you have? How much guilt is yours? How much guilt is yours? You know, these judges that held these trials and everything.
Yeah, and
how much guilt belongs with so many different people or whatever. And it makes a great point at the end of the movie. It's 13 years after the fact, after these trials, and a lot of these guys, these doctors and judges and shit, after all the Nazi high command was gone through the whole thing, they started going after these guys. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them got life imprisonment. And it says at the end of the movie, and this is fact, at the end of the movie it says of the accused or whatever, the defendants who received life imprisonment, none are still in prison as of this movie's release, which is 13 years later. So a lot of it was for show. A lot of it was just. And part of it also is it takes place against the blockade of Berlin, which is when they were separating Berlin into East and West, and the communists. There was that whole thing. So there was a lot of pressure on the real guy, and obviously in the movie the fictionalized guy. But there was a lot of pressure on that judge to go lenient on these guys because they need. At this point, it's 2 years since these trials have been going on, and the German people have had enough. They don't want to be blamed for it anyway, and now you want to keep doing it?
Well, and
he says no. Fuck.
And you also
I thought that was Ashley for a second going, will you please shut up?
Well, you also have to think about
baby slip.
They have it's a war-torn country, and
it's beautifully shot.
And we saw what we heard about, and we saw about like how much the UN just gutted Germany for what they did, and
there's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of reasons for why Nazi Germany rose, and not least of which is that Winston Churchill capitulated with Hitler. The fucking Vatican capitulated with Hitler. The Vatican gave, speaking of Catholics, the Vatican gave Hitler his first big we recognize you as a state. They did. Stalin capitulated with and de Gaulle capitulated with, and then fucking Mussolini came into power. I mean, it was just a shitstorm, and there's no justification for any of it. It's said in the movie, and it's right. But you can look at the causes and see why it happened.
Oh, yeah.
But I urge you all, if you have any inkling that shit didn't happen, go watch the movie, and all I need you to do is watch for about, 45 minutes. Because at that 45-minute mark, the prosecutor is sworn in as a witness and shows all of these real-life films from when the fucking camps were liberated. Yeah. And if you've never seen that shit...
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah.
It's horrifying. I cried. I cry every time I see that shit. I can't believe that humans would do that to another human being.
They're literally just taking a fucking construction digger and just dumping bodies into mass.
Because they had to.
It's fucking horrible.
For sanity. When they got there, they had to, for sanitary reasons. They had to bulldoze the bodies into mass graves.
Were because they starved them, and it's like.
And when you talk about. When you talk about rhetoric that hurts a group of people, like we've been talking about with trans kids and trans people in general,
it's denying they exist.
You're denying they exist. You're trying to make them into monsters, and you're trying. It's
this
easy.
Is this is how fascism
It makes
works.
it easy. It makes it easier.
Othering them.
Exactly. Thank you. And so this is why I have a problem with Ryan Cannell and Melanie Mack and all those fucking cocksuckers, because they are hurting people with their rhetoric.
Mm-hmm. When you open your video complaining about a flag in the background.
Oh my God!
Of a kids movie.
Jesus.
Well, it's not a kids movie, but an animated movie where it's a throwaway thing.
Pick one of their videos. Every one of them starts off with something stupid.
But that is and saying it's satanic, saying it's demonic oppression. That's
just because you go to church doesn't make you a fucking expert on Christianity, you shithead.
I'm not saying
I hate that. I go to church.
I'm not saying that those people are Nazis, but I'm saying if we were in full if we were in full scale fascism, they'd be the first fuckers lining up.
Oh yes, yes,
and they would still believe
they'd be absolute brown shirts,
and they'd still believe their idiotic belief that it's freedom.
even as their friends are murdered around them and put into political prison because they happen to say the wrong thing at the wrong party.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, what a fucking downer.
What
Thanks.
a fucking downer, you shithead. No, I want to.
We're supposed to be talking about movies that have.
The point is, I want to.
Pew pew quip.
I want to draw a direct line from why we talk about these people to this type of shit and how easily and slippery you want to talk about slippery slope and a fucking cliff, Eric July? Talk about Holocaust deniers. I'll bet you he is. Wouldn't surprise me one fucking bit, because that's kind of how you get started in that shit, is somebody comes and tells you, hey, you know the Holocaust didn't really happen, and your dumb fucking ass believes it without any evidence.
Also,
and then you start walking down that right fucking wing path. So, nice job.
To put a bow on that.
We're done.
To put a bow on that, I cut out in both of their videos. So they both said trans kids don't exist. Both of them in their videos said that if an adult were to make that choice to be a transgender person, I mean, they're an adult, do whatever. I don't agree with it. Bullshit. Because if you are denying they exist as a kid, when I hate to break it to you, most trans people they can kind of have that feeling, you know, and know, and there's been multiple times where there are kids that have it at a young age or feel like they're different at a young age, and maybe some kids feel that way, and maybe they grow out of it and go into something else. I don't know how kids work.
A lot of homosexual people I know.
I don't know how that
in my life have said that they knew early.
The frustrating thing is like what you said. One, you're saying they don't exist, and then what you also are saying, that how you feel about yourself is invalid. And I want to be talking to anybody that's listening to this that may be gay or trans. Do not let them take that from you.
You are absolutely a star.
If you for a second let them take that from you, you can't. You can't, because if you let that take from you, they own you, and you can't let them own you. You can't let them have that over you. Stick up for yourself. Be yourself.
We got your back. We got your fucking back, dude.
Clear. You exist, and there's nothing wrong with you.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with you. I know a lot of shit that you read and see in society.
If you're a grifter, there is something wrong with you, because you're willing to treat innocent human beings like they're nothing, like they're subhuman.
Right.
You're othering them because you want some clicks, because you want some views.
It's not that far.
So you can sell your shitty fucking comic book?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry being like.
I agree. Fuck you.
Fuck
you guys.
I have had internal struggles with this. I have had internal struggles with doing this because most of the other stuff we do in the show is more fun stuff, and I like doing that.
I do too.
But and my wife asked me, she goes, "Why do you do this? Why do you bother with this shit?" And like you said, I'm drawing a line here. I'm drawing a line and showing you the evidence, and it's repeated behavior by all these motherfuckers.
I'm showing you how to be a decent human fucking being.
All these motherfuckers, and I will tell you this: they thought the way they did before any comics gate, any gamer gate, or whatever fucking gate you want to call it.
Yep.
They liked it, but now they felt empowered. When Trump was in office, when all this shit was happening, they felt empowered, and now they're so desperate for attention, they got to call a cartoon of April O'Neil fat and ugly. They have to look at a trans. By the way, imagine how hateful you are. Then you can't enjoy a trailer because of a fucking flag.
I didn't even see it.
Right. That you probably wouldn't.
I know it's there, but and even if I would have, it wouldn't have bothered me because there's other shit going on.
But this is my point. You motherfuckers don't understand. They keep saying, "Get woke, go broke." Show me the metric.
Yeah.
Show me the metric, because it never works. They continue to go, oh my gosh, Bud Light. Nobody's going to drink Bud Light because Dylan Mulvaney's on the can. Okay, we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes.
Hey, Kid Rock, are you still alive?
Kid Rock, next time you shoot off a gun like that, maybe hit all your fucking targets. You geezer fuck.
What a fucking joke. Him and Ted Nugent should form a supergroup.
Oh, bigot dumbass.
BDA, man.
Oh, and listen to Ted Nugent's music.
Can Tim Pool be their singer?
Listen, you want to talk about groomers and pedophiles? Listen to Ted Nugent's music.
Oh, yeah, dude. Stranglehold's a good one. Yeah. That's weird, isn't it?
A lot of his shit is about fucking underage girls.
I know. Weird.
What's Cat Scratch Fever, though? What is that about? I don't know. What is it about?
Pussy.
I hope consensual of age. Ted.
Give us a call, Ted.
Also, I don't give Ted Nugent civility when he told Obama to suck on his machine gun. So
Ted Nugent could fucking fuck right off.
You know what would be funny if he had like a hunting accident and he just shot himself with
In the wiener?
with a bow, like, oh shit.
Now see, that is funny, but now it sounds like we're asking.
I don't
to,
actually want him to do
No.
that, but it would be funny.
But if it did happen,
if it
I'd
happened.
laugh my ass off.
That's what I'm trying to get at. I don't want physical harm to come to
No.
anybody, but if it's somebody like Ted Nugent, it's funny.
I'd be there going, well, live by the sword, die by the sword, or crossbow as it is. Zing.
Christ on a crossbow.
Yeah. Let's groove. Get woke. Yeah.
We're already broke before we went woke, so it didn't matter.
Dude, we're I mean, yeah, I can tell you that they are right about one thing. We're not going to make any money doing this, but I'd rather sleep at night and be broke. How about you?
Honestly, I think I'd want
$1 million, bitch.
Call us up, Feige. We're waiting.
Your move, Kevin. If you don't,
Or Kathleen, because she runs Star Wars, whatever. Or Jon Favreau. Yeah.
and so help me if you say no.
I'll drink your blood.
Yep. Now we're gonna get fucking dinged for violence. I'll drink your
Fine.
blood.
After I drink his blood, I'll tell him this.
I'll eat your ass.
Well, now we're
And that's it.